Lindsey Graham, I mean, what is there to say about little Lindsey Graham? Sycophant, betrayer of his friends, betrayer of the man he called his best friend in John McCain. I believe he's persona non grata. He certainly is with Meghan McCain, who's no stalwart herself, dumb shit. But he is out there making the rounds as a lawyer, as an officer of the court, as someone who served in the military as a JAG officer, as a judge in the military, saying that it's absolutely okay. And actually, he commends Donald Trump. He thinks it's wonderful that he is going after private law firms and punishing them with this retribution and this revenge because they had clients that were Democrats. I talked about his executive order, this nonsense a couple weeks ago, I think. And a federal judge stopped it, said, no, that's not how it works. You can't do that. I think the judge said something about sends a chill up or down their spine relative to what's taking place with the attacks on our system of justice in this country. And he was asked by Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation over the weekend about this. And, in true Lindsey Graham fashion, you wouldn't expect a truthful answer. You wouldn't expect anything honest. What you expect is to him just slather Donald Trump with praise, effusive, gross, slobbery praise from Lindsey Graham onto Donald Trump. It's all very gross. But also, the problem is Lindsey Graham is emerging as one of the most moderate members of the Republican Party in the Senate. This is a voice of reason, heavy air quotes there, with Lindsey Graham. He's not Tommy Tuberville. He's not Mark Wayne Mullen. He's not one of these other assholes. He's more of a moderate voice. And that should scare you because it says that there are no guardrails for Donald Trump right now. There are no voices of reason to whisper in his stupid ear that, hey, maybe you need to calm it down. You're violating the Constitution. They've just given him carte blanche to act like a king. Watch this moment from Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan and dipshit Lindsey Graham.
I want to ask you about what's happening here at home. There were more executive orders from the president this week targeting some of the country's most prominent law firms, including Paul Weiss. He wants to restrict business activities of the firm, despite a federal judge ruling in a different case that it's unconstitutional. The president suspended security clearances at the firm. He stripped clearances from lawyers over at Covington and Burling as well because they were involved in representing former special counsel Jack Smith. Do you support this?
Yeah, I think all of these things. I think Jack Smith was politically motivated. I think the Russian hoax, a lot of people should have gone to jail and they didn't. I think the idea that President Trump was an agent of Russia was manufactured. The Steele dossier was based on lies and falsehoods coming from a source that said he never meant it to be used in the fashion it was used. I think Jack Smith's effort to prosecute President Trump for January 6th was politically motivated, and people who engage in trying to destroy President Trump, I don't mind him going after them in a lawful way. I don't mind.
Is this lawful? Is this good for the U.S. legal system,
I think so.
Senator? Because the president's trying to use government power to punish private business because he didn't like some of the work they had been doing.
Private business aided government power in a fashion to destroy Donald Trump's life. On our side, nobody in your world gets it, but our people believe that the Justice Department was used as a weapon to destroy Trump's campaign and his business interests and to ruin his family, that they made up bogus charges and they proceeded in a fashion that was designed to destroy him politically and personally. I believe that. If these people involved pay a price, they got nobody but themselves to blame.
But these are lawyers working on cases that you're making it sound like the work that they take on is somehow part of a conspiracy and they should be punished for it.
Yeah, I think these law firms were pushing legal theories that, to me, were designed for political outcomes more than legal outcomes. We can have a debate about, holding a lawyer accountable for his clients actions. I generally don't like that. But these law
That's
firms,
what this sounds
and
like.
Jack Smith using the power of government, incorporating these law firms, in my view, were trying to disrupt and take down the Republican nominee for president. That this was an orchestrated effort, and Biden only regretted they didn't do it sooner. So it was politically motivated, and everybody with their fingerprints on it, I hope they pay a price.
He is all but admitting, not even all but admitting, he's full on admitting that the reason Donald Trump is going after him is because of a personal grudge, a personal vendetta. This is about personal animus, retribution based on what they did to him. Not about cases. By the way, when they talk about all of this, the weaponization of the government, they never go into detail about what all the accusations against Donald Trump were. That we witnessed all the many boxes, the volumes of classified material that Donald Trump was carrying with him around the country on his stupid plane. That were so sensitive, these matters, they couldn't be generally described in public. Some believe it has to do with nuclear arsenals of maybe our allies or even ourselves. And they never mentioned that. They never mentioned the attempt to overthrow the United States government, to end democracy in America by overturning a free and fair, settled American election. They never mentioned that. They never mentioned all of the fraud. They never mentioned the fact that Donald Trump is not legally allowed to be involved in charities in the state of New York because he was fraudulently using his charities to buy portraits of himself and Tim Tebow helmets and shit. They never mentioned that. They never mentioned the Trump University that defrauded who knows how many people. And it would have gone to court in Florida, except for the week, I believe, maybe even the same day, that Donald Trump gave Pam Bondi, the new Attorney General of the United States, when she was Attorney General of Florida, gave her like $25,000, and then the case just mysteriously went away. They never mentioned that. They never mentioned all of the impropriety, all of the fraud, all of the lies, all of the grifting, all of the illegality, all of the violations of the Emoluments Clause, all of the violations of the Ku Klux Klan Act, all of the violations everywhere from Donald Trump. But they want to act like, oh, it's just the weaponization. Answer the allegations or shut the f*** up. That's becoming a mantra on the show. Anyway, what do you think about this? I invite you to this conversation. You can do it in the comments below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. You know, after the election, this is where I put my stories when I'm done with them. After the election, remember I said that if you thought I was radical before, maybe this isn't the channel for you. I think I'm starting to show that, right? Anyway, if you want to help support this work, if you're into this level of radical, I don't believe it's radical. I think it's standard and what's needed to defend democracy going forward, to battle against fascism that is on. It's not like approaching. We're in it. This is fascism. You can click the join button below for $1.99, become a channel member, helping support independent media. Very important right now. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast and help me produce this work. I'd appreciate it very much. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore just about everywhere, and I will see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.